30 years. 30 years that this movie's been out, and they haven't been able to make one sequel that's close to being as good as. Now, you can argue that The Lost World Jurassic Park was a good sequel because Spielberg directed it, and I mean, it had some fun moments. You could argue that Jurassic Park 3 was the closest to being like the original movie. But you can't really make any arguments for any of the Jurassic World movies at all. They started off trying to repeat the exact same thing the first movie did, and then just got worse. Each of them in their own way, almost like a mirror image of the original trilogy. So in this video, I'm going to show you the scene in the very first movie that explains why Jurassic Park told us that there would be no sequels that are going to be as good as it. And then I'm going to pitch to you exactly how you make the perfect Jurassic Park sequel. So to kick things off, I'm going to go ahead and start with the scene. If you don't want to watch that and just want to skip straight to me talking about it, just go over that portion.
More adventurous guests, of course, can opt for our jungle river cruise or for a close-up look at our majestic...
None of these attractions are ready yet, of course, but the park will open with the basic tour you're about to take. And then other rides will come online 6 or 12 months after that. Absolutely spectacular design, spared no expense.
And we can charge anything we want, $2,000 a day, $10,000 a day, and people will pay it. And then there's the merchandise. And I can personally...
Donald, this park was not built to cater only for the super rich. Everyone in the world has the right to enjoy these animals.
Sure, they will. What, we'll have a coupon day or something.
Yes.
Gee, the lack of humility before nature that's being displayed here staggers me.
Well, thank you, Dr. Malcolm, but I think things are a little bit different than you and I had feared.
Yeah, I know. They're a lot worse.
Now, wait a second. Now, we haven't even seen the park yet.
Donald, let him talk. There's no reason. No, I want to hear a review point. I really do.
Yeah, don't you see the danger, John, inherent in what you're doing here? Genetic power is the most awesome force the planet's ever seen, but you wield it like a kid that's found his dad's gun.
It's hardly appropriate to start hurling generalizations.
If I may, I'll tell you the problem with the scientific power that you're using here. It didn't require any discipline to attain it. You know, you read what others had done, and you took the next step. You didn't earn the knowledge for yourselves, so you don't take any responsibility for it. You stood on the shoulders of geniuses to accomplish something as fast as you could, and before you even knew what you had, you patented it and packaged it and slapped it on a plastic lunchbox, and now you're selling it. You want to sell it. Well,
I don't think you're giving us our due credit. Our scientists have done things which nobody's ever done before.
yeah, but your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should.
Condors. Condors are on the verge of extinction. If I was to if I was to create a flock of condors on this island, you wouldn't have anything to say.
No, hold on. This isn't some species that was obliterated by deforestation or the building of a dam. Dinosaurs had their shot, and nature selected them for extinction.
I simply don't understand this Luddite attitude, especially from a scientist. I mean, how can we stand in the light of discovery and not act?
Oh, what's so great about discovery? It's a violent, penetrative act that scars what it explores, what you call discovery. I call the rape of the natural world.
I broke that scene down into 3 parts, right? The first part, they're talking back and forth about how much money they're going to make off merchandising. That's one of the reasons why sequels just aren't going to work. That people wanting to make more money is starting to dilute storytelling. I mean, when Jurassic Park, the first movie, was made, it was a risk because it didn't exist yet, which makes it a completely different type of story than the risk of Jurassic World, that maybe we've waited too long to revive this IP. And not only that, but if you watch the movie, there's just product placement everywhere you could stuff it. I mean, a lot of people talked about the product placement at the time. And not only that, but if you're making a movie simply to sell more toys, to sell more merchandise, and to boost the IP, you're not making a movie because you want to tell a story. And if there's anything that I say over and over again, it's that story is above everything. If you don't have a good story, you're not going to move a lot of merch. But for some reason, executives have that backwards, and that's why we're in a strike right now. I'm not even part of the WGA or SAG, but that's why there's a strike happening right now for equal wages, is because, well, studios just don't understand what makes something successful is the story. Now, the people who make up the studios do, but the executives for some reason forget that at a certain point. Another great example being Barbie. Like, they saw the huge success of Barbie and didn't think, wow, it must be the stories, so people want good stories. They thought, oh, it must be people want to watch movies about toys from when they were kids. Ugh! This whole beginning of this scene is a massive disconnect between the people with the money who want to make more money and the people who have ideas about how to do things right and well. Now, the second part of this scene is one where Ian Malcolm describes the lack of humility that they have and how they're wielding a power greater than themselves, standing on the shoulders of those that came before them to try to make something good. The only issue is you're not standing on your own 2 feet. In this world of sequels, doing direct sequels is difficult because we've already seen the first one. We don't want to just see that again. We want something different and unique, and you still need to provide something different and unique. But to just copy outright what was done before, that's booty. That's disrespectful to us as an audience watching it. I mean, there is no shame in them resurrecting franchises that have needed to stay dead and don't need to come back. I mean, the nostalgia train is essentially all that Disney's business model in the film world is run off of right now. And this is talking about resurrecting 65 million year old dinosaurs and doing it in a way to just make money. That's all that's happening. And to make a sequel to Jurassic Park, you're resurrecting something that honestly didn't ever really need a sequel. It's funny that I say that though, because I do have a really good pitch for the sequel that would knock everything else that has ever happened out of the water. It's coming. Just you wait. And that's where this amazing quote comes in the third part of the scene, where Ian Malcolm says, your scientists were so preoccupied with the fact that they never thought if they should. Should we have had Jurassic World? Looking back, I think we would have been a better world without that movie existing. And I'm not saying it was terrible. Like, I love those movies, and I'm thankful for all the people who put their hard time and work and effort, blood, sweat, and tears into making something from nothing. And I know I'm just a critic sitting here talking about it from the sidelines, never having made something of that magnitude myself. It's difficult. You're making something impossible. With that being said, it didn't really change anything. They were so preoccupied with the fact that they can make a sequel to Jurassic Park, they didn't think, should we? Is this a story worth telling? Is this what we want to tell? And I think all the sequels to Jurassic Park suffered because of it. The Jurassic World ones were never really living up to that hype, and the Lost World Jurassic Park was done out of, well, we did one, it made a lot of money, get the next one out quick to make a lot of money. But if you just tell a great story, that is what people need. We live in a dopamine hit-fueled society. For us to get a chance to have something real, to consume real good content, man, that's what we're starved of now. That's the thing that's going to make the next billion and billion and billion over and over and over again. Is a story that draws people in. It's why Marvel's failing. It's why Disney's failing, is they've all forgotten the story and they're moving towards an algorithm-led focus group discussion of AI monstrosity, and it's never going to have that human element. I'll admit it can probably get close, but it's never going to have the same human element as a great story told by a human is. That's all you need. Speaking of great stories, this is my pitch for the Jurassic Park sequel as done in a car wash.
Alright, I'm going to go ahead and explain the entirety of the story while I go through the car wash, because I believe the story needs to be simple, yet effective. This whole thing needs to be set in like roughly 1995 when Hurricane Clarissa hits Isla Sorna. Isla Sorna is the secondary island to Isla Nublar. It's the one that they had all the dinosaurs on. This hurricane hits and they become free roaming, but before they're free roaming, this is kind of their compound where they create all the dinosaurs. Your main character is similar to Owen Grady. It's a guy who's ex-military. The difference is this ex-military guy has a family and his daughter has some sort of genetic disease. And the only way to cure this genetic disease is to go ahead and get some information that is locked on Isla Sorna, protected under lock and key. Now it's on Isla Sorna because this is where they use genetics to create dinosaurs. So it's only making sense that the one place that you can find this genetic research that'll help you cure a genetic disease is at a place that uses genetics. So this ex-military man gets some of his ex-military friends in 1995. They're all Gulf War veterans. They get together, they go on a vacation. His friends think that they're going to a simple smash and grab of some sort of scientific compound, only to find out that it's dinosaurs. The moment they get there, they see that there's a storm coming, but they think they can get in and get out in time. They can't. So as they're on the island, Hurricane Clarissa hits, and now they have to escape. And he's doing all this because he wants to save his daughter using genetic research from Isla Sorna. That's the whole story. You don't need to do any more, add any more to it. And look, here I am, and I haven't even finished the car wash yet. That's my car wash pitch for the story of Jurassic Park, the 7th movie.
Now, not only do you need to have the story that I just talked about, but you need to do a marketing strategy. Since the original Jurassic Park is more like a horror movie, which Nerdstalgic goes over wonderfully in this video right here, I think you also really need to market it well. And look at the success of marketing that they did for the Cloverfield movie that they released right after the Super Bowl. Not the movie itself, because the story was bad, but you just kind of stealth release it. You market it as like a period piece horror thriller with dinosaurs in it. Why? Why is this story important? Why is it important to tell a Jurassic Park sequel story? Well, to prove that it is possible to make a good story. It pleases die-hard fans and people who just want to watch a good movie alike. And the final point about all of this is that scene itself, that sit-down scene around a table where people are talking, there's no dinosaurs coming, no big action sequences, nothing like that. That's something that was only done in Jurassic Park. The very first movie had a lot of conversation scenes, and the movie as a whole was about the characters and not the dinosaurs. And if you can remember that it is, the story is made up of the characters, you've got yourself gold. But hey, I'm just a dude who likes watching movies and sometimes talking about them. What do I know? Not a lot. Either way, that's my analysis on a scene that explains why there will be no Jurassic Park sequels that work unless you listen to what the scene is telling you. Happy 30th anniversary to all of our Jurassic Park fans out there. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button if you would like to see more of my videos whenever I want to make them. You all are a great audience, and I wish you a fantastic whatever time of day you're watching this. Thank you.